What's up, my family? It's Kiahonfire, and welcome back to Conan Exiles. Today is the follow-up of the Jungle Purges video, so we'll be having a look at all of the thralls in that purge and what they do. There is actually a hell of a lot of Jungle Purge thralls, I mean a lot. So there's quite a lot of thrall purges here. There's also some that actually share the same kind of loot tables as the special NPCs part. Such as these guys over here. I believe this is the Dagon Slavers. Their specials actually share the same with the ones over here, and it's the same with a few other ones as well, but they do have different ones. So I've boxed them all appropriately anyway, so we can all have a look into that. But we'll start with a crew of Black Hand Pirates purge. This is one that happens in the swamp. There is a hell of a lot of fighters and archers in this one. And there's some actually decent crafters in here as well, so let's have a look at them. Before we continue though, I want to quickly say a quick thank you to Languish Viking for reminding me about these things. Now, there is some other things that I did forget with actual Purge thralls. This counts for all Purge thralls, by the way, so they're pretty much all the same when it comes down to these basic and butters. So what they reminded me was, though, that the Purge armorers can make the Redeemed Silent Legion, and the tanners actually, when you put them in an artisan's table, can craft this silk out of the grubs. So like this one, extract silk. There's also another one they mentioned about, if I've got it, yeah, it's right in my inventory actually. Let's grab this one, the Fermentation Barrel. Any of the Purge cooks, if you put them in there, will give you a few different recipes. So you have the Stygian liqueur, you have the Pirate Rock Gut, you have honey whiskey, frenzy wine, and bitter tea. So those are ones that also Purge thralls can make that I forgot to mention, so thank you for that. So we'll start off with our blacksmiths. We have Artificer Galleon, and we also have Smith Raiden. So as the usual, they will do your usual things, such as the legendary weapon repair kit and the reinforced. So that is the reinforced steel made for a cheaper price. The same goes with the other one as well when you pop it in there. Moving on to our Armours Bench, we have Sakan Bristlebeard and we have Rimmel the Shaggy. So you can make the stitch, so that is the hide and twine, and the weave also you can make with these guys. So they have these kind of recipes. If you were to put them in a normal bench as well, they can make all your heavy plated helmets and your bearer pack. And of course, if you've learnt normal Silent Legion, the Redeemed Silent Legion. But my character on Conan has still been bugged since the patch. So I did get it back for one bit, and then when they did their second patch, I actually lost all my data again. So I totally lost my character with everything on it that I've been working on for a few years. So that's a bit painful, but it is what it is. So that's what we're dealing with today. For carpenters, we also have Gilal the Builder, and the other one we have is Master Carpenter Negan. So these ones both make split wood, so that's what they can do. Then we have our Alchemist, Spawn the Labourer, and Alter the Swervy. They both do the same thing, white, black dye, and then you have all your orbs, and then you have your different recipes for tar, spice, and oils. And that's what our crafter does. You also got a few priests in here. You have the Cleric, the Mullah, and the Nazar, and you also have a couple of Taskmasters, Carolus, the Binder, and Capelez, Noosemaker. So of course those are going to reduce your time on your station, same with the Smelters, same with the Tanners, same with pretty much most of these actually. And then you have those which are going to make your protection domes and your avatar tokens. Now let's get on to the fighters. So these are all from the faction of the Black Hand, so they will all have this similar kind of setup. They're really good at accuracy, Black Hand. They're quite good at survival as well. And then they have 1, 2, 3 in strength, agility, and vitality. So if you like a lot of actual accuracy in this one, then these are the guys that you can go for. This one right here actually got really lucky with HP. Godly Vigor is a really nice perk if you do get it, I must say. But usually, generally, they're base HP, and if they don't really get many points in HP throughout the perks here, or rolls, you can see their HP is pretty average, probably about the same as the bottom of the HP on an unleveled Forgotten Tribe member. But it's still pretty decent. I mean, for the accuracy, that is really, really, really good, actually. And we can see we've got another really nice rolled one here, actually. You got Redeemed, you You got some strength in there as well. Minus though is there as well though, so maybe not so good in that department, but there's still some really nice perks there, and you can get a general idea of what you could receive in one of these. Like here right now, you've got one that hasn't really rolled too much in the HP. It has one perk, but you can see it's got some nice HP, but it's not as amazing as some of them. And then we'll move on to our fighters. So these are our sword boys. They do all sorts, and this one actually has rolled in really good in health as well, actually. Holy moly. 100% growth chance in health. That's a really nice roll, actually. And then you have these guys, but like I say, with these ones you're usually looking for some really good accuracy, because that's what their main role is. So that's kind of what you want, but they can prove to be pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, usually people won't really look too much into the Black Hand faction because they're just accuracy, and that's pretty much all they really amount to. But if you do get some really nice rolls, then they can be a lot more than just accuracy. So yeah, they should make some good archers, I think. And in general, if you get a really good roll up to level 20, you should end up getting a really good thrall as well. Moving on to our next purge, we have Razor Gord's Kitchen Staff. This one's a really funny one. However, with the kind of rolls that you get in here, you mostly actually get world thralls. So what I mean by that is these thralls already spawn in the world. They don't just spawn in the purge. So let's have a look at some of their crafters. You can see the range here. You got quite a few priests in there. You also got quite a few cooks, as expected with this kind of purge. Razor Gord is a chef after all. And then you have a couple of armorers in there as well, and all of the shebang. We've already showed off what these can do, etc. But I'll just show you the important ones in here. If we go to our cooking station, I don't think I did that last time actually. Master Chef Thab you can get, so all of these recipes. You can also get Vatizia the Potent. There's actually a difference here if you didn't notice. So you can see the difference between World and Purge thrall right here. So you got the additional recipes in this one. And then this one is missing a few. But then you have Head Chef TARDIS as well that has the full lot. So you can see there's a little bit of a difference with the cooks here. Now let's have a look at our fighters. You've probably seen these many times. Braggy the Bold, one you can get in the world. The HP on his lowest thing is not that great. Neither is it when you get him up all the way either. But there are some pretty decent ones there. He would make a decent fighter, I suppose. But something I wouldn't really go for if you get me. Maybe a starter one. A good starter. Yeah, but probably not like a permanent. But there we go. We got an archer now. We have Conqueror of... I don't even know how to say that. That's a mouthful. But you kind of got the idea. And then we have Bosnia as well. So all of that in there as well. You can have a look how they kind of vary. But again, they're the same kind of thing. If you didn't notice with these kind of roles, it's the pirate faction again, so you got the same bases. Now we move over to a band of Lemurian Scouts purge. This one also includes some world thralls in it, so you have Warriors the Breaker and May the Blade. You can find these actually in the world, and not just the purge, because they used to spawn outside of, and I think still spawn outside of the Pleasure Palace of Decado, so that kind of place. Then you also got special thralls that will spawn in this one. So you got a couple of cooks, a couple of armorers, different bits and bobs here. We'll quickly have a look at them. Again, you've already seen what the tanners and stuff do. So we'll just be showing off what I would call the main lot. So the most important kind of things in here. So let's have a look at our blacksmiths first. So we have Herman von Blatt. He can make the legendary weapon repair kit and the reinforce. And you also have Faria Ulfa. These names really get difficult, I'm not gonna lie, but they will make the same thing. And then you have Master Armorer Cern. That will make you these Stitch and Weave and a Redeemed. And the helmets in the other one, it probably looks a little bit better for an example in the Norma's Armours Bench. Because then you get all of these that pop up as well. So there you go. And then we have the Mahingo Warmaker. And if we go over to our Fireball Cauldron, we have the Secret Keeper Harris that will make us our dyes, our orbs and lava recipes. And we also have Nepthia of the Shade, which will do the same. So keep an eye out for those as well. They can be pretty decent. Then we go over to our cooks as well. Taris the Ravenous, he's going to make you some nice food. And Abner the Voracious, which is also going to make you some nice food if you get her as well. I mean, pretty much if you do get any of these thralls in general, then you are pretty lucky in general, as to be said. So I wouldn't worry too much if you get certain ones and you don't get certain ones. You're just keeping an eye out for the one that you need here. You also have Master Artisan Marb, so that's the split wood there. And Tello the Splinter, which gives you the split wood also. So that is the crafters, and as like I was saying, if you get any of these from any region, they'll pretty much do the same thing. That's what the Purge crafters are about generally. Now we'll have a look at Warris the Breaker. You'll notice something a little bit different here. You don't have the pirate kind of attribute set out. You have Lemurian instead, and this is what Lemurian looks like. It's pretty nice actually. You've got the 20 strength, the 15 agility, and the 10 vit, so they can be on the nicer side of life actually, these guys, because that is a pretty nice equal stance. However, you can see this one really didn't roll very good in the HP department, but there are some nice rolls in different other departments as well, but HP does matter, so I always kind of look at that as well. Then you have the HP and stuff on May the Blade, same kind of do. It's a bit nicer on this one actually, because you got the redeemed perk, redeeming her a bit, if you get me. Then you have our archers, Alaran Storm. So again, you got the Lemurians kind of perk faction look of attributes, and then you got the rolls. This one actually got Godly Vigor, but it didn't really give too much there. You can see he's rolled a lot in strength and agility, so that can be considered really good as well, because it can attribute to different things. Then you have Larissa, or Lysira, I think, I don't know. But that one's pretty awesome as well. There you go. It actually got a Godly Vigor again. I don't know what is up with all these Godly Vigor perks being rolled lately. Now we'll be looking at the Dagon Slave Takers. I just want to quickly say this slot actually share the same Purge thralls as this slot over here. So the Lemurian scats that we just went over share the same Purge crafters. But they also, in every wave, will also share some world thralls. So these are world thralls that come from the world. So like I was saying in my other video, you'll be quite happy to know you got Guru Legbiter in there. So these are pretty much all Exile faction T4s in here. So ones you can get in the world, but you can have a look here, you can get different bits and bobs. And we will look over them, because that is kind of useful to look at as well, and quite different actually. So let's go over to our crafting tables. So in this purge, you'll mostly be interested in the armorers, I think, throughout this. So we start off with Enos. So we have a look at what Enos can make us. In the top half section is usually where you'll find what they make us. So this one, you can see it can make Flawless Amorian, so this is what that one can make. Then you have Chalkus the Smith. That doesn't actually make anything special, but does the Flawless, so that's useful. Then you have Guru Legbiter, which is a sought after one, which can make the Hyborian Slaver. And then we go and look at all Queen of Steel Tongue. So what can they make? Let's have a look in here. We scroll down. You can see this one can make you the Flawless Hycoranian Raider stuff, so all of that. Then we have Turnus Burn Britches, great name by the way. We'll have a look at what they can make. If we scroll down, you can see they have all the Flawless Shemite stuff that they can make. Moving on to Oisin the Smith, they can make you the Flawless Cambodian, which is a strength armor. And then you also have Zavek that can make the Flawless Sumerian Fur Gauntlets and Steel. And that's pretty much what it sums up to. It's mostly the actual crafters of armor you look for in this one. So if you do get those kind of drops, then yeah. And then of course the Purge ones we mentioned earlier, you'll also be looking out for those as well, since they are part of this one. So it's quite a big one when it comes to crafting thralls in general. So now let's have a look at our prisoners. You actually get prisoners in this one, and you also get some dancers too. So we have Bowden the Flexible. Let's have a look at this one. You can see fancy dancer stats. If we can grab them as well, they're a little bit hard to grab when they're dancing around frantically like that. Let's have a look at his stats as well. Quite mediocre, but it does get like that when it comes to dancers, because they actually distributed the stats quite differently. And then you also have the difference here as well. So this one, have a look into her a little bit further. See how she rolled. She didn't actually roll well. I mean, it's alright, there's some good damage there, but apart from that, she got quite a few unlucky things in there and bits and bobs. And we can have a look at our prisoners as well that you can actually get in this one. So let's have a look. You can see this one got quite a lot of nice perks actually. got very lucky in this area, and then we have other prisoners. The prisoners should actually amount to being the same kind of role and kind of thing, depending on how it actually rolled up to level 20. That is the difference, but apart from that, they are pretty much an identical blueprint. So you can see this one got lucky in HP as well, so you can see how this kind of will go. But like I say, identical blueprint kind of thing, but with different roles. But it gives you an idea, so that's why I do it. And then finally, you have a gang of degenerate Lemurians. Now, the only different thing here is, again, with this same chest, with all of these guys you see here, it does the same thing. They can all get these as well. So these special Lemurian special NPCs for crafting, you can also get from this different purge. But apart from that, that's what this purge actually amounts to and what is different in it. So I hope you found this helpful. Thank you for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!